Welcome to Community Conversations. I am Miss Ebony J, the queen that does the most for you right here on 100.3 Cincy's R&B station, 101.5, 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, and 101.1 The Wiz. So glad to be here. A new year, right? We're kicking things off. We're going digital as well as being here so you can listen to us live. And Community Conversations, is a podcast where we come to talk about the problems happening in our community and we bring on great nonprofit organizations to come on to talk about the great things that they're doing. And I'm blessed today because I have in here with me a queen who's here to talk about a nonprofit organization that helps young girls. And her name is Tanisha Payne. How are you, beautiful?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Did I say your name wrong?
It's Tianisha, but that's okay.
Anisha. Okay. Well, Miss Payne, tell us about the Girls Emerging into Maturity program that you have.
Okay, well, we originate out of Dayton, Ohio. We started back in 2017 with about 17 girls. From then, we've seen about 85 girls annually. From there, we are kind of just like booming. We work with girls 10 to 18 years old. Um, I don't know, for at-risk adolescents, but in my opinion, every teenager at this point is at risk. So we're really just like pushing and trying to cover a lot of grounds. What all would you like to know?
I mean, what made you start this organization? You said it's been around for how long?
Of 4 years. We've been around for 4 years. In March of this year, it'll be 4 years. And what made me start is my sister was a teenage mother. So
Mhm.
she had my nephew at the age of 15, and then she had my niece at the age of 17, and then she continued to have children. And so I really had to focus on what they were going through because as a teenager, the stuff that they were being exposed to, or the lifestyles of having a teenage mother and trying to be a friend and try to be a parent, it was creating a lot of disconnect, I would say. And so I decided to create a program where I knew where some of my friends were teenage parents at this point, and so their kids are 10 and 12 and
Yeah.
13. I'm like, what can I do that I know that can make a real impact on the community? So I was like, okay, Tia, you like to write, you read a lot of books. My parents put me in a lot of sports. They did a lot of science stuff, a lot of nature things, a lot of school. I did drill team. I did all these things. And I'm like, it made me who I am. And I
Correct.
noticed in Dayton, we didn't have, or we don't no longer have those opportunities. So I started to create them and start launching Express Yourself sessions. So
That's
it went
what it's
from,
all about.
yeah, it's about see something, do something. If there's an issue, if you're not trying to put your foot down to actually get to working and put in some action, you just talking. So I didn't want to just talk about it. I had to make some changes.
Period. Now tell us about the Express Yourself sessions.
So our there's two different types. There's Express Yourself events where it's open to the public, and then Express Yourself sessions. Our sessions are held Tuesdays and Thursdays to an exclusive group of girls who were enrolled last October. It's about 23 girls, ages 10 to 13, and then 14 to 18. I do separate them. During our sessions, we are working off our Express Yourself email, which is written by me. The book is going to, or the email is going to launch later this year. And we've been really just pushing through what I've been writing. This At this point, we're working with technically speaking. So we're learning the aspects of technology, social etiquette. Where do we even start off with communication? First form of communication was writing, and so they all have a journal. We I'm really big on writing, expressing yourself, letting venting, because sometimes you don't want to talk to someone. You don't want that same listening ear to be a running mouth, and so that journal is not going to tell on you. It's not going to judge you. It's not going to do anything to make you feel like what you're thinking or how you're feeling is wrong. And so technically speaking, we went over just technology, cell phone evolution, technology evolution, to the point where we're talking about social media and how to conduct yourself as a young lady using those features, or how to write a simple email. Shout out to Lopsane. He donated our laptops to us. So we were able to receive 30 laptops in which all of our girls have them, including webcams, email address set up. So we went over, if you need it, they're homeschooled due to COVID. A lot of people didn't have laptops or their school was charging them to use them. Here's some laptops for y'all here. Let's take some of that stress away. Let's have something that you can have and you can own on your own. So yep, technically speaking, is what we are in now. Our next session up is Think Local, which we're going to really push what is dating to us, what is dating, or what has it been, and what we want out of it now. And so we're now into our next session is Think Local.
I like that. So you're not just sharing one element with them about life. You're
Mm-mm.
taking them through writing because, of course, we need to write, right? And
Yes,
then you're getting them with the speaking, learning how, again, meeting them where they're at because social media is where they are, right? They love social media
they
and
do.
that's their jam. So meeting
Yeah.
them where they are and helping them express themselves creatively and showing them the right and wrong ways, I think it's totally amazing. I wish we had this back in the day.
Yeah. My school had something called Voyager, where it went over zoology. It went over like classical music, some things that you don't even think about that are necessary, but it really is. So I really benefited for some of those programs, and they're no longer around. So I needed to create something that I felt was tangible to the Black community, something that was relatable. In every book, it'll say Susan and Mary, but my name is Tianisha. I know a Shaniqua. I know a
Right,
Shanika. And so I needed my names to be
right.
the standard, you know. And so I had to create, and I wrote this e-manual to cover subjects on, technically speaking, um, etiquette, morals, sisterhood, girl code. We've done about 6 programs at this point, if not more. We had bonding. We did a bonfire. We did a teen think tank where Mayor Dan Whaley came, and the Artemis Center. We talked about domestic violence. We had Dr. Teresa Fears, where she spoke about drug addiction, entrepreneurship. We had Miss Bernie there. She runs her own group home. So we really tried to push the girls in a position where if you would like a slide at your park, if y'all parks don't have no rooms, if you don't have a water fountain at your park and you guys are here every day, here's the mayor. Don't you guys, should you speak on this? If
Right,
you have a friend who's being sexually abused, or a friend that's in a relationship and they're getting beat on, or they don't know how to leave this boyfriend, here's the Artemis Center. Like, just letting them know that we're a resource and there's a outlet for it. We launched our mentoring program this year too, or last year in November. It's called Gems Mentees. We have about 13 mentors, 2 girls per mentor, and it's virtual just because of COVID. We are partners with the Mentor Collaborative, which is with Sinclair Community College. It's a certain requirement for our mentors to even be with our girls. They have to be able to pass a background check. It's how are you
yeah,
preventing these things from the girls who come to programs, and are who can you trust to be around your girls? So I
right.
had to make sure I had to create a system that was really going to work, and it's been working.
That's
We working.
good. I love it. You sound definitely very passionate about it. I know it can be hard. I mean, I have a I Am Queen program and we do some of the similar things. I think it's very important just making sure our babies have a foundation. We were here
Mhm.
because, again, like you said, we were involved. You list a whole bunch. I thought I was involved. You list all kind of stuff that you did, right? That helped build our foundation and shaped us to be the queens that we are today. So it's very important. I think the biggest message out of my life was finding your voice. We see so many things happening in life around us, and like you said, we have social media upon us, but we have to find our voice to know how we can what can we say to help somebody else. What is our purpose? What is our message? What is our thing? And so I'm listening to girls emerging the mentoring program. I mean, I love what you all are doing in dating. I think it's definitely
Thank
effective.
you.
If you just
Thank you.
tuned in, this is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 101.1, The Wiz, and 100.3. Cincy's R&B station, I'm Miss Ebony J here talking with Miss Tanisha Payne. And, we're talking about a program that she's created in Dayton to help young girls really find their voice, express themselves, and be who they are. I mean, how can somebody find out more about your program and what you all are doing?
We have a Instagram page, Girls Emerging Inspiration, Facebook, same titling. For Twitter, it may be Girls Emerging One or Girls Emerging into the letter into maturity. That is our Twitter page. We take any form of communication. We are about to launch our first teen ran podcast. I'm a little
Okay.
nervous to put my girls on live, but
You
they
know how
have
they
gym
can be.
questions that they have every week where it's an anonymous box that we place in our business, and they just ask questions. And I feel like the questions that they're asking, I know there's other girls with those exact same questions about sexuality, about dealing with friends they feel like aren't true friends to them, or building confidence. Um, they had so many questions. I'm like, I know that there's other girls,
Yeah.
or other guys with these same questions, these same concerns, these same curiosities, I would say. Not even just questions. Sometimes they just want to know why. This is a question that I get often. Why is sex at a young age frowned upon so much? And I'm like, man, how can we even start this conversation? Why is it such a stigma on sex at a young age? Where did it come from? If people were getting married at like 13 and starting families at like 15 on the farm, why is it so different now? And so we have these dialogues just to open up their brains, to open up that wave of communication, not to be afraid or ashamed of anything that they're doing secretly, because if you're afraid to ask, you're probably already doing it. And
Correct.
I need to get you some type of protection.
And like we said, they have social media now. They have
And
the internet. So literally every question they're asking, they can go Google that same question and get the answer.
exactly.
But what I'm finding is what they're finding isn't breaking down the real things behind it that they need to know. It's only showing them one way. Yes, sex is fun, but you can die. You can get hurt. Even if you
Yeah.
don't die, the sexual transmitted diseases can hurt you. And even if that don't work, look, your heart can get broke.
Your heart is that's the timid part. Like,
You
yes,
hear
you
me?
may be physically ready to indulge in sex, but what if he just thought it was something to do, or he was bored, but now you in love
And
because
you
you
think
you
it's a
created this
lifetime moment.
bond.
Correct.
This was your forever person, but you're only 13, and you're gonna live to be 85, and there's so many different features that goes with the longevity of marriage, because sometimes in history we wasn't living that long. So if you get married
Right.
now, you was probably gonna be dead by like 65, but now you're living longer. Should you wait to get married, and should you get married now? I get all type of questions, and I'm not an expert at anything. I always tell them I'm not an expert.
Right.
I'm not a doctor. I only have a bachelor's degree, but I can find these answers for you. We can
Mm-hmm.
create a network or resources that helps guide you where you need to be. Planned Parenthood, for example, we are working with them on launching another partnership with them, really driving home the diversity in having sex and protecting yourself
Yeah.
and just like a lot more information to them, because there's a lot more genders now, there's a lot more preferences now, and I don't want them to be closed minded,
Right.
because a person is just a person, whether that what they like is based off them and the person above,
Yeah.
but when you see somebody, color, sex, height, weight, be open, treat them like your sisters or your brothers until something is different. Our group is primarily African American. We've had other backgrounds or heritage join in and leave or come back. But this is really for us. It is a Black owned program. We really speak Black. Um, Education is another big thing for us. We have GPA requirements to maintain your position in the program. Because I can only see 25 girls, it's only one of me, and I only have a set amount of mentors. They have to maintain their GPA. It is a 2.6. We've had girls that come in that have a 1.7, and I get them to a 2.3. If I know I can get them to a 2.3, I can get them to a 2.6. Then I can get them to a 3.0. It's a group thing. We work with their teachers. We work with their parents. We
Yes.
try to create a network, a home, a true village to get everything done.
It takes a village, boy.
Um,
Listen.
Let me see what else. I don't know.
No, you're telling us a lot. I'm so glad that you're able to break it down to us in this manner. And of course, you gave them the website and the social media if they wanted to learn more. Tell me this though, what would you say has been the hardest part about maintaining the program or working with these young girls?
Funding has been a big issue because we feed the girls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Saturdays, they also have meals sometimes. That's because I have them for mindfulness. We do yoga. Also, a big, I wouldn't say a tremendous hardship with this set of parents is consistency. Um, Having a consistent parent and or guardian makes things a lot more easier. It helps keep more tabs on the girl. Yes, it's our girl's responsibility, but it's also the parents.
Yeah.
Having parents that are engaged sometimes is an issue because if the girl doesn't want to really be here and the mom is like, I'm forcing you to be here, but you're not actively participate with them, like if they have things to write about or asking them about the group, making them feel like you're also involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes the parents can, it can be tough, but I have some
Got a
really
baby
really good
start.
parents too. Yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah,
a,
yeah.
it's
It's not.
something that's to help with their development, which is also helping with the home development. So you have to do your part by, checking on them. How is it going? What did you learn today? What was the program like? How do you feel about what you all talked about? Asking those specific questions. Again, that dialogue is important. You have to know what your kids are thinking. And you got to learn about how they truly feel through conversation.
Yes. Also, it's mainly just making sure it's consistency. Consistency can be an issue with me as a mentor, making sure I make my phone calls. Um, that consistency piece, that being interactive and engaged piece, sometimes can get a little hard because during the weekday, we're tired, we're working all the time, and
Yeah.
sometimes kids want your attention and you can't give it to them because you're literally sleeping. You can't keep your eyes open, but you have to push through. I'm not a parent by any means, not a parent, but I've been in situations. Like I said, my sister had her first child at 15. I was 11. So if that baby is crying at 3 a.m., my room is right next to hers. We trying to figure it out together. Like, why is your baby crying? Making me
Right.
stop.
Parenthood is no joke.
But
I
it
just
was something that I seen the nurturing aspect of it, the late nights. Yeah. So everything but the physical experience. I've seen it all. So it is tough on parents. You do have to work. You do have to go to school. You have other kids. So that consistency piece is 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 a big piece.
we gotta have it. The kids need it. We need it. Shoot, in relationships and friendships, it's just important.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so again grateful that you were able to come on the show to talk about this program. Can you tell us again where we can go if we want to be a part of the program? Like, are you all still accepting people into the program right now?
We are in February. We will have 8 spaces. We're down. We dropped to 15 girls due to like COVID reasons and everything else. So we do have spaces for 8 girls, ages 10 to 18 years old. We are opening back up in February to accept new enrollment, and then every other month we will have our Express Yourself events that are open to the public event again. We had to kind of shrink things and focus on our sessions to make sure our core girls were getting everything that they needed. Though, and what's crazy is those same girls started the program when they were like 11. They're now like freshmen in high school, or they're juniors
Yes,
in high school. And I'm like, wow, this is 4 years is a long time
yes.
to see the changes. So we are enrolling. You can find us again at girlsemergingtomaturity.org is our website. Girls Emerging to Maturity is on Facebook as well as Instagram, just by our regular name, Girls Emerging into Maturity.
Yes, please go check out the organization. Please make a donation if you can. Go on the website again. We want to continue these services for these young girls. She said these babies been in the program for about 4 years. And of course, they've been there since it's begun. So we're trying to make sure that they're able to stay until they graduate. So please give if you can, make a donation, so that way they can continue their services, and look on the website and social media so you can know what events they have coming up, because she said they're going to be opening them back up to the public. And will those events be virtual as well?
So as long as we can meet the CDC requirements as far as social distancing, and wearing our masks, some will be in person. It's
Okay.
harder to conduct our sessions via phone or virtually sometimes, because it's the interactive piece of actually physically being able to see someone, or in this realm of being personal, that we need.
Yeah.
And the kids are online so much that they're literally tired of looking at a screen. And so as long as I can keep them 6 feet, mask on, CDC, they're still sending us to work anyway. So I feel as
Period.
though we can be in person. We're going to make sure we check our temperatures like we do anyways, keep everything sanitized, you know, the best we can do in this scenario. So yeah, we're going to have in person, just limited amount of girls.
Tianisha Payne, everyone, the founder and program director for Girls Emerging into Maturity. Make sure you go to the website. Make sure you give if you can. We want to continue this program. So glad that you all have this there in Dayton. And maybe we can collaborate later on and have you do something down here in the Queen City
Yeah,
with the Queens.
I'm open. I'm open. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much
Super
again for
lovely.
coming on.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a good one.
You too,
Bye.
beautiful. Bye. This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. Make sure you stick around. I got another guest coming in, and we're going to be talking about, once again, how this organization is helping the community. Welcome to Community Conversations here on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station on 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. I'm Miss Ebony J, the queen that does the most for you, here on Community Conversations, which is a nonprofit podcast where we come to talk about the different work that organizations, nonprofit organizations, are doing in the community to really break the ceiling and go ahead and make sure that we stop these problems that we're having. And I'm so glad to have in here with me today Miss Nymir Warren of the Girls in Real Life Situations. That's the name of her organization. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm glad to have you. I'm good. I can't complain at all. I'm always working and talking about how we can help these young girls. So many things are going on with them. A lot of them are broken. A lot of them are hurt. They going through it. And so I'm so glad today, this week's conversation has just really been about the organizations that are here to help the young girls. So tell us, how did you get started with Girls in Real Life Situations?
I got started with girls in real life situations. I went to the University of Akron, and I really didn't hit adulthood until I got to college, and I had to live by myself, and I was 3.5 hours away from my family, and I actually had to do stuff on my own. I couldn't run back to home. So it all came from a personal experience and going from my childhood stage to adulthood. And it happened very fast. It was rapidly fast for me. So I took on a lot of different I took on a lot of different traumas and disappointments
Yeah.
throughout my 4 years of college. So I started it my last year of college. So really my three, so really my 3 years. I took on a lot of things that happened, I should say. So that's what made me
Yeah.
start the nonprofit organization. I felt like girls needed that support, especially when you're away from home and you don't have nobody you could just run to. So I started the organization just for like a mentorship, a mentorship and a sisterhood, just a bonding. I really feel like um we get the math, we get the social studies, we get the science,
Yeah.
and we get the language arts, but we don't really get the how to build my credit, how to deal with my relationship, how to deal with my friendships, how to deal with um an absent parent. We
Right.
don't get that. We don't get the knowledge and teaching skills of how do I deal with these. So that's really why I started the organization.
Would you say that this organization is for girls of all ages, or do you have a specific number or age group that you're targeting?
I target at 13,
Okay.
13 and up, 13 and up. And I do 13 because you're a teenager at that point.
Yeah.
A lot of things take a different direction when you become a teenager. And I didn't want to expose anybody 13 or younger to stuff they have not already been exposed to.
Correct. Why would you say this program is like not needed, but why has it been so effective for the young girls that you work with so far?
I would say it's been so effective because again, we don't get this type of teaching and knowledge. Not even though it should be given to us at home, we
Yeah.
can't really blame our parents because our parents wasn't taught that. So
Yeah.
it's something that it needs to be talked about, or it will forever be a dark cloud over us and following us for the rest of our life until we acknowledge the problem. And that could be a variety of things. I mean, when I say my group, my nonprofit, we literally talk about everything. I'm talking about from rape to not having a father, being in foster care, being homeless, heartbreaks, first love stuff. We
Right.
talk about everything. There's no limit on what we can talk about.
Because when you young, you just be like, oh, I can't live without him. Oh my goodness. But you gotta have those real conversations like, honey, you ain't even gonna remember his name in 12 years. Like, relax. It's not life or death.
Exactly. Yes.
Why
Yes.
should people get their kids to join this organization?
They should get their kids to join this organization because this will prepare them for real life situations that they will run into. Everybody will run into some type of heartbreak.
Hmm.
Not everybody has the materials, or I would say the support system
Correct.
to get through those heartbreaks. But if they come to the nonprofit organization, they can take on hands on. Look, I already know what to expect if this happened. Or better yet, I'm in this situation. Let me call one of my sisters from the nonprofit organization and see if she been through this and she can help walk me through this so I don't have to feel alone when I'm going through this process.
Because when we're saying girls in real life situations, that's the name of the organization. That's how real these situations can get for for their life. You're there to guide them, to give them resources and what to do and how to move on. So
Yeah.
that's why they should join. But there's so many other organizations. Women be like, I don't know how to feel. And some women, I think, they may not be open to having those real conversations with their kids. I think this is an
Yes.
organization where we gonna keep it straight talk, no chaser.
Yes. That's how I like it. Yes.
So do you
Yes.
all do any different events in the community?
So, back when I was in college, we had went to the Akron Regional Food Bank and we helped them set up the last 3 years for Thanksgiving. We have went downtown and fed the homeless. Um, we also did like a Halloween pumpkin patch for the kids. We did that last year.
Okay, so you're basically always making
And
sure
we're just gonna do more things in the community. Yes.
that's what it's a. That's what it's about. I think for me, I wouldn't be the woman I was today if it wasn't for all those community service events that I did while I was growing up. Now I look forward to doing those things. So I think it's just important that you kind of put that in these young girls' foundations.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Community Conversations on 1230 Buzz, your talk station on 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. So glad again to be here with you. I am Miss Ebony J, the queen that does the most for you. And of course, I'm a I'm a queen of many queens, and so glad to have in here with me Miss Naimir Warner, who is the CEO and founder of Girls in Real Life Situation. You know, I work with young girls myself, and just dealing with them on the day to day, from even just having the workshops, I learned so much. Like I
Mhm.
feel so old because I learned so much about how they're doing things. What would you say has been the biggest obstacle for you so far working with young girls?
My biggest obstacle so far, I could say I got two.
Okay.
One would be being financially supported, being that I'm a nonprofit organization. My second one would be building a team, building a team that has the same passion and desire as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be my two biggest obstacles.
I think people don't understand how important it is to be surrounded by like-minded individuals. That's what we mean. Like if they're not ambitious, or helping this young girl with her
Yeah.
homework or helping her get through this situation isn't something that's like racking her brain as much as it's racking yours. Like we don't feel the same. I tell people that all the
Right.
time. We don't breathe the same. You don't get it. I'm about to lose it. I mean, but it's truly important and very essential to have a team around you that if you get sick tomorrow with COVID and you got to be out for 14 days, they're gonna be able to still hold it down.
Okay. Yes.
I think that was the biggest realization that a lot of companies had when this thing hit, was like, we gotta really adapt. And who can I send in for me? Who gonna
Hmm.
hold things down? And then it's so funny that we're having this conversation because I just interviewed another woman with a girls organization, and she said the same thing: finances. I can have this vision all day and this goal all day to say these women and help these women and provide the resources, but if I don't have the finances to continue this thing on, I this organization is gonna fall. Where do you see the
Yes.
organization going 5 years from now?
I want to be able to have different seminars and workshops. I
Okay.
want to actually give out materials that girls can take home and actually look back on. I'm basing my organization now based off conversation because conversations can go a long way. But I actually want to be able to do a workshop. I want to be able to actually give hands-on materials to girls.
Yeah, so they can have something to take away and, like you said, use as a reference later. You're talking so fast and there's so much information to swallow. So it's really good to just have some guides that they can leave with, some handouts. So I like that. I think that that's a great goal to have. So we're gonna have to talk offline because I can help you with that. I mean, definitely if that's
Thank you.
what you need,
Yes.
it's not hard at all. We gonna make that shake. You don't have to be a fire goal. We can make that shake in the next year. We can make that
Thank you.
definitely happen for you. Yes,
Yes.
give them some takeaways. Now I know it has not been easy putting together a nonprofit organization. You know, you hear all this good stuff. Everybody says do a nonprofit, go nonprofit, but it can be very hard. Do you have any advice for someone who's at home or who currently has an organization now where they are helping young people or doing things in the community? Any advice for them starting their business?
My advice would be to brainstorm, 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 and brainstorm as long as you need to. If it takes a year just to brainstorm and figure out exactly what you want to do and what you want to target, and it'll come through. And my other advice would be back to my biggest obstacle right now, and that's building a team. Don't go for people that you think are your friends and they'll help you because they're your friends. Actually conversate and communicate and build these different relationships with different variety of people. And
Yeah.
then you'll just learn that in some aspects they do have the same desire and passion as you do, and they can help you with different things. Like you have somebody with finances, or you'll have somebody over here that's doing advertisement, but that's what they're good for. Just learn and communicate and build these relationships, because relationships is the most important thing.
Tell them you gotta have a great relationship. You gotta have a great team, and that foundation is totally, totally important. When building your business, you gotta have a great network. People, okay. When they say you are only as
Yes.
big as your network, they mean it. It really determines your net worth. And like she said,
Mhm.
she need resources. So having that team, having that network system is what's going to help bring goals to life. Okay. How do people, if they're listening, they have a young girl that they would like to get in the program, how do they go about signing their young girls up? Do you have any like age stipulations, GPA requirements, anything like that?
I just have one age stipulation, and that is 13 and up. They can follow us on Facebook at Girls in Real Life Situations. They can follow us on Instagram at girls. Girls is G.I.R.L.S four underscores, and they can text or call 330-9360, and we could get them started with any paperwork that is necessary.
Boom. I love.
Now, I will say, if they're 18 or younger, adult will have to fill out a confidentiality form for them.
Okay. Okay.
Anything, we good.
Yes, I love it. Now, do you all have meetings monthly? How does the organization operate?
We've actually have meetings weekly. We have a meeting every Thursday at 7 p.m. We have an in-person, and we go live. We go live on different social medias. Last week it was Instagram. Last night we went live on Facebook. We're gonna try and do Clubhouse, but Clubhouse is limited to who can. Well, you have to have invites to come in Clubhouse. So I don't want to limit those that can possibly watch. But yes, we have a meeting every 1721 Section Road at 7 p.m. And our meetings only last an hour, so they're 7 to 8.
Okay, okay. So they're not long at all. Again, you can bring your babies by. And if you want to, sign your baby up for it, like you said, you can give her a call or you could go on the social media. Can you tell us who it's for one more time?
Social media is Girls in Real Life Situations on Facebook, and on Instagram it is girls with four underscores. Our contact number is 330-970-9960.
Now, have you all done vision boards already?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Okay, I was about to say I know y'all have done all kind of stuff. So I know that was one of the things I saw when y'all did like game night. So I was just
Yes,
checking to see if you already got your vision boards popping off for 2021.
we got our 2021 vision boards ready.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again. I appreciate you coming in and sharing with us about your business, all the great things that you all are doing. If there's ever anything else that you need, something coming up for the girls that you have, please let me know so I can share the information with the community. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you more. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, beautiful. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.
This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.1 The Wiz and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. I am Miss Ebony J, the queen that does the most from you, the queen of queens. And I'm here every Sunday giving you community conversations. This week was all about young girls and how nonprofit organizations are here to make sure that they have the things that they need so they can be the queens that they have been born to be. And if you would like more information about these organizations, please make sure that you log on to rnbcincy.com. Yes, log on to rnbcincy.com. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Would love to have you as a guest if you're interested. My email is msebonyj at radio-1.com. That's msebonyj at radio-1.com. See you soon. See you next week. And remember, share your smile with others. Dreams do not work unless you do. So do what you have to make your own dreams come true.